Okay, recording this video on Saturday, the 24th of April 2021. Just gone 1:55 p.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. Okay, so we got to talk Bitcoin because we're down top to bottom 27% from the recent high of some days ago after this sell-off, and we're having a little bit of support kind of coming in, and I want to show you what's going on my charts. For some reason, I feel compelled to say this is not investment advice. I don't know, I've never said that in a video, but the Bitcoin is volatile, and you've got to be prepared for pretty wild swings. So I'm just, kind of laying that out there. I can tell you what I'm seeing on my charts and what I'm doing, and that's about it. So we've reviewed this chart before, a little bit messy here. It has the three different ways of plotting Bitcoin in TradeStation. The BTC USD, dollar BRTI, which is the Bitcoin real-time index, and then at BTC, which is the Bitcoin futures. And that's the way I kind of look at the daily charts to kind of zero in on what is going on. The big picture is, I think, Bitcoin is going to keep on rallying for a good time yet. And the reason for that is because of this pattern on beta sine wave. So plate of spaghetti down below is beta sine wave, which is calculating the cyclical activity in three different time frames, a ratio of 3 between them. So the lowest, the intermediate, and the highest time frame is 1 day, 3 days, and 9 days. And it allows us to put on support and resistance levels on these three different time frames. And if you concentrate on the highest, the thickest lines here, which is the highest time frame, you can see here back in 2018 we had resistance. Through the latter part of 2018 and the beginning of 2019 we had support, then resistance, then support. And this last rally up was all being started off basically in 2020 with this big support here, and we broke into a confirmed uptrend. The background of the chart plotted red to show we got confirmed uptrend when the price and the volume patterns are all moving in the same direction. So the most important thing to show here is that we are above resistance on the intermediate and the highest time frame. So, and we're a good distance above those, which means the trends in the intermediate and the highest time frame have to play out. They have to go to pullback to end of trend. What we've had with the first leg up here into 65, a couple of end of trend signals there that you can see, is we've got a left shoulder been made, and so that lowest time frame has played itself out into a trending move that's end up with some pullback to end of trend signals up there. We are likely to go back, find support at some area, and put in a pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame. And then when that is finally over, we will have to go back and make pullback to end of trend on the highest time frame. So all I'm saying here is on the daily chart we have a long ways to go before this trending move on the upside is over, because pullback to end of trends have to ripple through in three different time frames, and we've only done it in the lowest time frame. So that's the big picture. Also on these charts, what you can see is on these two, BTC USD and the dollar BRTI, the last move up into 65,000, we had a Rambo pattern here. You could see these amateur bars. So Beta Pro Am uses the average trade size to calculate professional and amateur activity. Above average trade size shows you professional activity. Below average trade size shows you amateur activity. And you can see this last move back up to 65 was being led by the amateurs with a Rambo pattern, potential reversal of an amateur breakout. So that into those highs, that was, so that just shows that it's weak. You know, if the amateurs are moving the activity, it's like that's not a good sign. This was a beautiful little signal here at 24.25. Professionals buying that breakout. That is a gathering pattern getting ready to go here. Took a little bit of profits here, but that wasn't enough to stop our trailing stop based on the professional activity. So our trailing stop based on professional activity is miles away. We have no blue professional bars at those kind of new highs showing professional activity taking profits at those highs. So all of that suggests on the daily charts that we are a long way from this whole move being over. And all we've done is we've just kind of found an area where the amateurs were pushing price and we need the professionals to step back in. So question is, we're down 27%. Is this a place where we're going to find support and we're going to rally back up to new highs? Well, we'll kind of have to go down to the tip bar charts to kind of look at that in detail, but it would be really good if we did, over the next week or so, find a blue professional bar somewhere down here on this retrace to kind of come in. I don't know if we're going to find it in this particular move, but if we see that, that shows professionals have found a support on these daily charts. It would also be great if we could find, a support on an intermediate time frame as well. But we're quite a ways from, these are the intermediate lines, these kind of slightly thicker lines here, kind of coming together, finding support. What we're going to find over the next few days more likely is a daily support kind of coming in, because that's the pattern on all these charts that we've got across on this lowest time frame. So a daily support might be coming in rather than a longer term, intermediate time frame support. That's looking at the daily charts. Let's back it down to the tip bar charts. And here we go. This is the 8600 tip bar chart, which is roughly a 1 hour chart of Bitcoin. I use BTC USD because I kind of like the volume signals that kind of come from that. Plot this with the better sine wave indicators on the right hand side, so that's everything to do with price, support and resistance based on the cyclical activity that we calculate in all three time frames. Left hand side, better momentum, better pro-am, so it's everything to do with volume. So you can see here, I was last time we talked about the Bitcoin, I was saying that up into 64, 65, we had blue professional bars and Rambo patterns at the highs. We had flush patterns going on here. And I said the critical level was about 62 because that's where the trailing stop of better pro-am kind of came up to. What was that level? Absolutely 61, 277. We trailed it back here. They were kind of taking profits, pushing price up here, kind of getting distributing a little bit kind of down here, and as soon as we break through that 61 level, everything kind of changes. We get a confirmed downtrend with the background being gray here, and we kind of fall off. Gaps down on this particular chart. I think if you can find an overnight chart, this was a weekend. A lot of activity on Bitcoin on the weekends, and I think that's because the traders move to Bitcoin when there's nothing else kind of going on in the other markets. You can't trade them, so traders tend to do a lot of activity on the weekends. That's just a pattern I've kind of seen over the last few years. But anyway, we kind of tested back up under the lip trade here, kind of a classic into that. Couldn't come back, kind of test in there. We just rolled over and then gap down and bang, bang, bang. And so the activity that we've had back down into, I don't know, did we get a 47s? I think we did. 47s down here. We have exhaustion selling. We have bullish divergence. We have a flush pattern here. We have blue professional bars into 52, blue professional bars into 49, and then amateur bars down here. These are amateurs kind of testing down, and we found ourselves a little bit of support. Then look at this on better sine wave. We have again gone through some sequences on pullback to end of trend. So down here at these lows, we've got pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame, pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame. So we talk about pullback to end of trends rippling through the time frames. They need to play out all of that kind of trending activity. We go through some cyclical activity, kind of basing here. We try to break into an uptrend here and fail at 51, 50, under 52. Kind of come back in here and we hold at that level, and we've had another break in the last couple of hours, break above resistance on this tip bar chart into some strength. So this is going to be the critical level to get above 51,500. God, on the money. It's unbelievable how that's a real round number that we just got rejected at. So if we break through there, continue with this uptrend, then that'll be good for kind of a confirmed uptrend, a little bit of a rally. However, we do have resistance to come in on the highest time frame. When these two lines kind of come together, the fast and the slow, the thick lines here, that's the highest time frame, we will find some resistance. So although this is a place where we found support, we are going to find trouble when that comes around, and we'll go through another leg of weakness. Now, I jumped in, bought some more at 49, just because I'm kind of comfortable down there. My long-term kind of view is as a hodler, a Bitcoin, so I'm quite happy to kind of pick up a little bit more down here at 49s, but we could easily find resistance and then have another kind of push back down, and who knows where that level will go, and who knows if it'll generate, you know, a blue professional bar on the daily chart or something like that. But we've got another kind of push down to go. Whether we'll test back into these, you know, sub 48 levels, I don't know, but this is looking good for a little bit of support for the time being. And again, just to tease you a little bit with the overbought, oversold indicator that I've talked about in the last couple of videos that we're getting really close to releasing. It's just with my developers kind of getting it installed into the installer for the different platforms. That will be coming along soon, and this is what those charts look like. It's a simplified view of the better indicators, all three indicators on the one chart in as simpler manner as I can find. The new kind of indicator here is this better sine wave overbought, oversold, that gives us these backgrounds that show when all the time frames were rippling through, actually 12 different time frames, kind of looping through calculations to find when they are at extreme levels, when 11 out of those 12 time frames are all showing an extreme either resistance or support. We start looking for trades, and you can see here we tried to find support, but the other indicators didn't show us kind of confirmation. We're looking for exhaustion patterns and bullish divergence and flush patterns down here to find an extreme in terms of volume. We've got better pro-am trailing a stop to show us where the professionals are starting to get active. So they're active kind of down here on this leg because the trailing stop has gone down here. Cyclically, we're oversold at that point. What we need is confirmation breaking up through the 52, or if we see another pro bar and this kind of ratchets down another level on the trailing stop on better pro-am. All three indicators starting to come together here for a confirmation of a rally. So above 52, or if we have another blue professional bar kind of print above that, this will kind of come together. And those signals are being marked when we get a triple like that. So this is the reverse. So a few days ago, the top being marked after exhaustion buy, bearish divergence flush, also comes with an overbought level on better sine wave. The trailing stop, better pro-am, kind of comes up, and as soon as we're through that magic number 61,277, we signaled a triple there, and we're in a downtrend at that point. Let's go back, review another kind of signal down here. So talked about this over the last several weeks. Back at March 25th. We had same kind of deal going on, a triple setting up, exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, flush, another exhaustion pattern. Better sine wave is oversold, that with that red background. Better pro-am has trailed us down, kept us out of trouble here with this spike. You can see better pro-am trailed us down here. Bang, we got a triple, we've got volume, we've got average trade size, we've got price cycles all come together, signaling a long trade. We get a confirmation there into this rally that we had back up to 64.65 down here. That was a super nice trade at 50. Kind of similar signals, exhaustion buy, bearish divergence. We got overbought on the background, showing better sine wave. We've trailed our stop up with a professional activity, and we fall into a downtrend. We test back up, we have another signal into a downtrend here. I think you kind of get the picture. Another nice pattern here. Exhaustion sell. This one here we had, a lot of oversold activity on better sine wave, and it took us a long time to complete there. We had exhaustion sell, bullish divergence come in, another exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, but better pro-am hadn't ratcheted down until we had this sequence here. So we get a triple there. It's the bullish divergence, it's the oversold and the professional activity, but it happens a little bit later than the kind of oversold better sine wave indicators down here. Tripped us into a long trade, bang, into that move up into the short trade at 61 at that level. Anyway, so there we go. So long term, still bullish on Bitcoin. Short term, we got an area that we found support under 50. Let's see over the next couple of days what that holds. And we've got another leg down on that tip bar chart, but might be time to get interested in it again. Anyway, hope you enjoy your weekend. Looking forward to Monday.